Found that creative people, though they may be dissimilar in many respects, have certain attitudes and employ certain techniques to their own benefit and to the benefit of us all. I'd like now to use these techniques and attitudes as the basis for a descriptive sketch of a creative person. As we go through this sketch, I'd like you to think about this person. Where and when have you seen him or her? Is this a person you know at work, or in your neighborhood, or right at home? It will be helpful to read this message frequently and be reminded of these techniques and attitudes, which, if practiced regularly, will result in your living in an even more creative, rewarding life. Another good idea is to project the image of the creative person on your own actions, then judge for yourself what areas could stand some improvement. First of all, the creative person realizes that his mind is an inexhaustible storehouse. It can provide anything he earnestly wants in life. But in order to draw from this storehouse, he must constantly augment its stock of information, thoughts, and wisdom. His mind gives him ideas, and ideas solve problems. The person we're talking about has a carefully thought out and clearly defined set of goals towards which he's working. By knowing where he's going and determining to get there, he gives meaning and purpose to his daily work, to everything he does. He never wastes time just drifting. He's always in control of his life. The creative person knows his brain thrives on exercise, so he uses a part of it each day for thinking imaginatively about three things: himself, his work, and his fellow man. By asking himself questions involving these three areas, he's prospecting in the richest gold mine ever known. And the answers to his questions are often ideas that he can put into immediate action. He reaches out for ideas. He respects the minds of others, gives credit to their mental abilities. Everyone has ideas. They're free, and many of them are excellent. By first listening to ideas and then thinking them through before judging them, the creative person avoids prejudice and closed-mindedness. This is the way he maintains a creative climate around himself. You know, ideas are like slippery fish. They seem to have a peculiar knack of getting away from us. Because of this, the creative person always has a pad and pencil handy. When he gets an idea, he writes it down. He knows that many people have found their whole lives changed by a single great thought. By capturing ideas immediately, he doesn't risk forgetting them. And these captured ideas are deposited in idea banks. 8.5 by 11-inch envelopes, which are labeled with topics of interest. A friend of mine, a very successful writer, writes his books this way. He labels each envelope with the name of a chapter. Then, whenever he gets an idea or finds new material, he sees that it gets into the proper envelope. Before long, his book has practically written itself. Having a sincere interest in people, our creative person listens carefully when someone else is talking. He's intensely observant, absorbing everything he sees and hears. He behaves as if everyone he meets wears a sign that reads, "I am the most important person on earth." Thus, he makes it a point always to talk with other people's interests in mind. And it pays off in a flood of new ideas and information which would otherwise be lost to him forever. Widening his circle of friends and broadening his base of knowledge are two more very effective techniques of the creative person. If he's staying at a hotel where there's a convention not allied to his own work, he'll drop in on it, make new friends, and listen for ideas that might help him. He's always looking for better ways to do his work and live his life. The creative person anticipates achievement. He expects to win. And the above-average production engendered by this kind of attitude affects those around him in a positive way. He's a plus factor for all who know him. You know, problems are challenges to creative minds. Without problems, there would be little reason to think at all. Welcoming them as normal and predictable parts of living singles him out as an above-average person. He knows it's a waste of time merely to worry about problems, so he wisely invests the same time and energy in solving problems. He can even avoid problems by anticipating potentially troublesome areas and doing something about them before they turn sour on him. The research and development departments of many leading companies are constantly involved in exactly this sort of advanced planning. The creative person knows the value of giving himself and his ideas away. He's a go-giver as well as a go-getter. The hand that gives always gathers, and doing things for other people is a vital part of his way of life. When the creative person gets an idea, he puts it through a series of steps designed to improve it. He thinks in new directions. He builds big ideas from little ones, new ideas from old ones, associating ideas, combining them, adapting, substituting, magnifying, minifying, rearranging, and reversing ideas. He steers clear of mind weakeners, noise, fatigue, needless worry, unbalanced diets, overindulgence in food or drink, and people with negative attitudes. He asks polite, probing questions that bolster the ego and expand the mind. Questions are the creative acts of the intelligence, and he uses them often and to everyone's advantage. And the creative person uses his spare time wisely. He knows that many great ideas, books, and inventions were conceived during the creator's spare time. We all have the same number of minutes in a day, and the creative person values each one of them. So a creative person has a clearly defined set of goals towards which he's working. A pad and pencil handy for ideas which are deposited in idea banks. Good listening skills when someone else is talking. A widening circle of friends and a broad knowledge base. An expectation of winning. An understanding of the value of giving himself and his ideas away. An ability to put ideas through a series of steps to improve them. And an ability to make wise of his or her time. I think you should go back and listen to this and just really, evaluate yourself on these characteristics. The first two are the very, start of the program that we help people when we're coaching. A clearly defined set of goals towards which she's working. And then he's always constantly augmenting the stock and information of their mind. So they're learning more and more knowledge that helps them get ahead in life. So go through the list and just find out how creative you are, and look to improve that and increase that as much as you can, because that's where all the magic happens, is when you're in your imagination creating. So on this Friday before the weekend, before spring break for most kids, have an amazing day and enjoy the sun that hopefully beats down upon us. Have an amazing day. Be awesome, everyone.